My neighbor taught me to build ships in bottles for 6 months before his daughter told me who he thought I was. Mr. Jones lived 3 doors down in the blue house with the overgrown garden. I was 10. He was maybe 70, maybe 80. I never asked. One Saturday, I was walking past and saw him on his porch holding something tiny with tweezers. I stopped and watched. He was putting a ship inside a bottle. An actual ship with sails. How do you do that? I asked. He looked up at me and smiled so wide. James, you came back. I didn't correct him. Felt rude. Can you teach me? Of course, come inside. His basement was full of bottles. Hundreds. Big ones, small ones, green glass, clear glass, ships in all of them, perfectly detailed. He pulled out a chair for me at his workbench. We start with the hull, he said. We met every Saturday after that. He'd have juice boxes waiting, the orange kind I liked. He taught me to carve the tiny pieces, to paint without shaking, to thread the invisible strings that pulled the masts up inside the bottle. Patience, James, he'd say when I rushed. A ship takes time. He told stories while we worked, about sailing to Alaska when he was young, about storms that flipped his boat, about his wife who hated the ocean but loved the ship models. He had this habit of humming old sea shanties while he worked, the same 3 songs on repeat. Sometimes he'd stop mid-song and forget he was humming at all. I built my first complete ship in 3 months, a schooner. He cried when I finished it. His hands shook when he held it up to the light. Your mother would be so proud. I didn't know what he meant, but it made me feel good. I took it home and put it on my shelf. My mom asked where I got it. I told her about Mr. Jones. That's nice, sweetie. Just don't bother him too much. But he never seemed bothered. He seemed happy. Every Saturday, same time, same workbench. Sometimes he'd forget what we talked about last week and tell me the same Alaska story twice. I didn't mind. It was a good story. Sometimes he'd call me David for a few minutes before switching back to James. I thought it was just an old person thing. One Saturday I showed up and there were cars in his driveway. The door was open. I walked in. A woman was in the basement packing bottles into boxes. She had Mr. Jones's eyes. Can I help you? She asked. I'm here for shipbuilding with Mr. Jones. She set down a bottle slowly. And you are? I'm David, from down the street. Her face went strange, sad. David, not James. He calls me James sometimes. I don't know why. She sat down on the basement steps, put her head in her hands. James was his son. He died 4 years ago. Car accident. He was 10. The room tilted. Dad has dementia, she continued. It's been getting worse. He keeps forgetting James is gone. We thought he was just building ships alone down here. She looked at all the bottles. I didn't know he was teaching someone. My throat felt too tight to breathe. Is he okay? We're moving him to a memory care facility. Today, he can't live alone anymore. I heard footsteps upstairs. Mr. Jones's voice. James, are you down there? We have to finish the clipper ship. His daughter stood up. I should go help him pack. I walked up the stairs. Mr. Jones was in the hallway wearing his shipbuilding apron. He saw me and his whole face lit up. There you are. I was worried you forgot. I didn't forget, Mr. Jones. He hugged me. I hugged him back. His daughter turned away. They took him that afternoon. I watched from my porch. He looked confused getting into the car. He turned back toward his house. Tell James I'll see him next Saturday, he called out to his daughter. She was crying. Okay, Dad. The car pulled away. I went home and looked at the schooner on my shelf. I never built another ship. It hurt too much. Mr. Jones's daughter called me 2 months later. Said he asks about James every day. Asks when his son is coming back to finish the clipper ship. I asked if I could visit. She said it would confuse him more. That it was better to let him hold on to the version in his head. That was 3 years ago. He still asks about James. I never told him I'm not his son.